ready to roll. So I'm excited.
All right, before we go live real quick here.
Well, we're going to get started right away then.
Okay, never mind. Go for it. Never mind. I'll ask you.
All right. We'll get right into it. We are back on another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. We're very excited. We have another awesome guest with us today. We have Cole LaCrue with us, 2023 Badgers commit. Got a whole bunch of questions to ask for you, so we're really excited to have you here with us and appreciate you taking the time to join us. So how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. And today's been a great day. It's officially became a Badger Day. Signing day was today. So, man, it's been a lifelong dream of mine to play college football and to be a Badger. It's something special.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So I saw that you were visiting the Broncos this past weekend. How was that?
It was good. They honored us. We won state about 2 weeks ago on the 3rd, and it was cool. I've been a lifelong Broncos fan my entire life. That's the team that I was raised on. But we've had a couple down years, so just to see us get a win over a poor Cardinals team was good.
Let's ride.
Who's your favorite?
I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that as a Broncos fan.
Oh.
I had to, man.
That's fair. That's 100% fair.
All right. So I see your swag on the field, man, and I appreciate it. I'm very excited for that to be in this red pretty soon here. But with that being said, from your junior year to your senior year, you took control. Where does that leadership come from?
It comes from my parents, man. It comes from the way they brought me up as a kid. My parents got divorced when I was 7 years old, and it kind of had me grow up earlier than most kids had to. And I've always had it in me. I've always prioritized myself for being a leader. And so, it comes down to being I think at the end of the day, a leader is really just like an older brother. They have to guide everyone, and they're got to show them the way. And so, being the oldest of three, it definitely has always been there in me. And so for me to take initiative for my junior to senior year, it just shows all my character work and all my leadership skills that have been with me since both my brothers have been born.
Perfect. Yeah, it was it's great that you said that, actually, because I actually want to go back to, your state championship run. It was a heck of a walk-off. And afterwards, you mentioned that, you were quoted saying this one is for Pops. Going to that, what is your dad's impact on you, on the field? And to go off of that, what is something that, he taught you maybe that will always stick or resonate with you on the field or in life in general, I guess?
Yeah. So with my dad, he was my first ever coach, man. He's the reason I am the player I am today. I honor all my success to him. And with him, man, it was from the moment I was born. We would watch Broncos games. We would watch film when I was even younger. I remember he'd bring a little camera and he'd be like, all right, this is what you messed up here. This is what you got to do then. And so I just remember from a young age, he taught me all my football intellect. And so I think that advanced my skill set from a young age because I felt like I was always IQ-wise better than most kids on the field. And, he watched my sophomore year. I transferred to a new school my sophomore year, and he was there to watch me play my first game. And I remember I didn't start my first game. I was me and this junior were rotating. Well, not for long. But he went in for 2 drives, and my dad. I remember my dad seeing I was pissed. He goes, "Calm down. You're gonna get your opportunity. You're gonna make the most of it." And I had 4 touchdowns, and as a sophomore, I think we won 28-14 against our rival off the bench. So it was definitely awesome. And so I think it's just the calm and the knowing that he's always going to be there with me. I think that's something that I always take care with me, because I know when I make a mistake, I could hear him in his head calling me, what are you doing? Why would you make that throw? Come on, let's move forward. Like a bright memory of him is in 7th grade, I broke my wrist, completely snapped it. And I remember we put it in an ice bucket and taped up my whole hand into a little club. And this is my right hand, so I can't do much without it. And he said, just get out there and play defense. And so it was just that kind of mentality that I've kept with me from that point on where, I just have to be tougher than everyone else, man. And no matter how injured or how hurt I am, if I'm the leader, if I'm the guy of the team, I'm not coming out of the game.
Perfect. That was a great answer. Gritty, very gritty. I feel like too.
Yeah, it's part of the business, man. Part of playing the quarterback position.
That's awesome. So like,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
so I watched some of your other interviews, and we, like with our show, we prioritize optimism and positivity because we want to potentially help the mental health of our fans and fans of the same fan bases that we're a part of. So we wanted to ask, like, how do you protect / take care of your mental health to help maintain your confidence?
You know, at the end of the day, in my eyes, mental health is a huge part of any person's confidence. And for me, it's always remembering that you got to remember what your self-worth is. You know, you can't listen to the critics. You can't listen to what everyone's saying about you. Oh, he didn't make this play. Oh, he's not that good. Oh, he's too short. All that. And at the end of the day, you got to realize what your self-worth is. And for me, I went through a big mental cycle, you know, this past year in baseball because I had a pretty big slump, and I was seeing a sports psychiatrist. And I just remember him telling me, he's like, hey, at the end of the day, you got to realize there's only one Cole LaCrue, and you're that guy. And you got to be that guy for, you know, you just got to trust yourself. And ever since then, you know, I don't let pressure get to me. I said, okay, I threw a mistake. All right, that's cool. I'm going to go drive and score a touchdown this next one. Or in baseball, it's like, okay, I just lined out. Let's go make a line drive and let's go get on base and score our guys a run. So, you know, I've always been a team-oriented guy. And just the mental part of the game, I'm glad that people are shining bright on it because I don't think us as players get enough credit for what we have to deal with. You know, there's a lot of critics out there that are very disrespectful and a lot of comments to say, but you know, it's part of the business, and so I'm glad that the light's being shined on right now.
Man, you're a very fascinating kid. I'm learning very quickly here. I just wanted to know, you know, because I'm gonna have to know in a couple of years with my stepson, who's a very athletic kid, and I'm gonna have to know what to expect in the recruiting process. So, can you tell me what that was like?
Yeah, I think mine's been rather unique than a lot of other guys. So it dates back to my sophomore year. I thought I had an okay sophomore year. You know, it was my first real year playing quarterback position only. I've only been playing quarterback since my freshman year. And so started then. I got reached out from Cal and Cincinnati. And then I just kind of talked to them for a little bit, not much. And then I did a couple camps, talked to CU and CSU for a long time. And then junior year, you know, it sucks when you have a team that's not good. We were 5-6, and you know, even though I put up good numbers, I until this year, until my senior season, I broke every school record for single season stats. And so for me, you know, not much after that either, because I only had Central Michigan was the only FBS I had, and I had 2 FCS schools, Northern Colorado and South Dakota. But I knew what I was, and I knew I was a Power 5 quarterback. So I kind of bet on myself. You know, I Central Michigan gave me like an ultimatum. They're like, "Hey, you're either going to commit or we're going to go get another guy." I said, "Go get another guy because I'm about to go bigger than you." And so obviously I bet on myself. And to be honest, I was scared during there's always pressure throughout the season, but I always play better with pressure. And then Colorado offered me. And then it was like 1, 2, 3. You know, Colorado offered on a Thursday, Tulane offered on a Saturday, and Wisconsin offered on a Monday. But with Wisconsin, they early in the season, I was talking to them since August. They're like, hey, you got a lot of stuff to work on. We want to see improvement because we think you have the trajectory to be our quarterback. I go, sounds good. I'll show you what I can do then. And I just went out and played my game. And once Wisconsin offered me on Halloween, I was sitting there. I was like, I told you so. I told you I'd be a quarterback. And then I committed them on the following Monday in honor of my dad. And so, yeah, but that was the recruiting process. And for kids, that I'd say the best thing to do is to call offices and to, you know, they don't realize that that's probably the best way to get on the phone with the office lady and kind of be like, hey, here's my information. I'd please love you to forward it. And, you know, that's kind of how I got on the word on the mouth with everyone else, because I would just call everyone and Twitter, email, everything.
Bill loved that answer for sure. He said that's classic. Go get another guy because I'm going bigger than you. Bill loves it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So yeah, to build off of that, you know, you're having a big senior year And then all of a sudden you got some of the Power Fives coming in, obviously Tulane, Colorado, and Wisconsin, of course. So, at the end of the day, why did you, it could be a list of things, I'm sure. Why did you end up, choosing Wisconsin? And maybe on top of that, did the news of Deion Sanders getting the head coaching job at Colorado intrigue you at all whatsoever?
Yeah,
I saw the smile perk
Wisconsin.
up. I saw it.
Yeah, I saw. So what made me pick Wisconsin was when I went out there for the Washington State game. It was so pretty. I didn't know much about Madison as a town. I didn't even realize the Capitals were right on campus. And for me, that was huge. And it reminded me a lot about Boulder and a lot about Colorado because I was raised as a Buff. My first ever song was the Buffs fight song, except the explicit version. And so for me, it was it made me feel at home. And then especially experiencing Camp Randall and the jump around, that's really what sealed the deal. And I was really like, okay, if I get this offer, I'm going to Wisconsin. And with the Deion news, there was definitely some thought because obviously we were going through a coaching change with Coach Fickle, and that had me worried a little bit for about 2 days because I didn't know what happened until they reached back out and said, "Hey, we want you to be a quarterback. We love your film. Go win a state championship, but then in January you're going to come be our quarterback." I said, "Sounds good." With Deion, there was definitely some talk around it, but at the end of the day, I made my mind that Madison's the place for me.
Good stuff.
Taylor said, "Welcome to Wisconsin." So you did 2 different visits at Wisconsin. Like one was unofficial and one was official. Like what were your college visits like, and what was the difference between the 2?
Yeah, so my first one, it was an unofficial, and I was with my grandpa, which I love my grandpa. Just probably not the guy I would take with me to a recruiting visit again. Just because he was tired and we didn't really know what to experience because I was new and he was new, so I didn't know the area. And so with him, we just kind of walked around and saw everything else. The old coach staff, they gave me a tour of the facilities and not a really big tour on the campus. And so my official, it was much more information throughout. I saw a lot of places, saw the place I'm going to live at next month. And I learned more about the university because at the end of the day, you're a student athlete. And so I learned more about the program I'll be in. I got accepted to their business program. And it was just much better. Plus, I think Coach Longo, the new OC, he fits my scheme a lot better. He fits the style of quarterback that I am. Much better than Coach Ingram. No offense to Coach Ingram. It's just what fits me better in my eyes. So at the end of the day, it all worked out. But the official visit was definitely 100 times better.
Man. You're a smart kid, man. You got a good head on your shoulders, man. I could tell. I'm just wondering, who is your host player?
Ooh, I forget his name. Hold on, let me go look at it real fast.
Hey,
I'll go pick it up.
You're not going to get anything from me. I forget names every day, man.
No, I do. Isaac Townsend. He's a kid that went to Austin Valley, and he was from Colorado. So cool. For us, we just kind of hit it off, and he took me, I experienced the nightlife a little bit and just kind of hung out with the current players. And so it was a good time.
Very nice.
Perfect. All right. Perfect. So I guess, you're talking about the new coaching staff already with Coach Longo. I mean, what was your first impression of Coach Fickle once you first got to meet him?
Yeah, man, I'm excited that I stayed on board, and I'm excited that he's the guy that's going to be leading us. Everyone I talk to says there's no other man that would have beat Jim Leonard except Coach Fickle. And when I hopped on the phone, I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, there's no way, Coach. Like every time I talk to Coach Leonard, I got this great sense of a man. And Coach Fickle just you could just hear it in his voice. You could just hear it in his tone. He's a guy that he's a player's coach, and he's a family guy. He's a family oriented guy. But at the end of the day, he means business, and we're gonna go win it. We're gonna win some games. And with him, I just loved the leadership. And I loved the vision that he had, and I loved how he called it the new era. And so I was actually pumped up when I heard him talk for the first time. I was like, okay, this dude's legit, and I'm ready to go play for him. So there was no regret once I talked to Coach Fickle, and you guys are going to love him next year when we go win some games.
We already do.
We love him already, yeah.
We already do, man.
I'm fired up by hearing that, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you kind of touched on it already that you get to see your living quarters for next month. So you're actually starting at Wisconsin early. So what are some of the things you're looking forward to about getting to school early? And then have you set any goals for yourself for spring practice?
Yeah. So things I'm looking forward to. My roommate's Jason Arnold, so I'm looking forward to getting him know better, and hopefully we get a relationship started between him and I that just lasts a long time, and a little brotherhood with him. And for myself, some goals of mine, I want to come in and compete. I want to come in and shock the Wisconsin fan base, shock the staff, shock the current players. Because when I'm coming in, I mean business. And I got to go do what I have to do. Obviously at the end of the day, Wisconsin's, it's a university and it's a great football team. But I want to go leave my impact on the school and on the brand. And so obviously I want to come in and just kind of shock people and take them by surprise. Like, holy shit, my bad. I didn't mean to cut.
Hey, dude,
no, it's okay.
Good.
We're not censored.
Be your natural self. Be your natural
Be
self.
you.
That's all we want.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what kind of show.
Like,
I won't tell your mom, I promise.
She'll see this later and laugh at me. But so I just want to be the type of player like, who is this kid and how did this kid fly under the radar? Because I do think I'm heavily underrated. So that's something I'm looking forward to, and just getting to know the guys and show them my leadership skills, and hopefully put myself in a good spot to come start next August.
It's an awesome answer. I love that answer.
I gotta tell you, man, you are a very competitive kid, and you talked about how fickle is a player's coach, and that's definitely the kind of coach I'd want to play for. And you're definitely the kind of quarterback I'd want to block for if I was your offensive lineman, because I can just tell how much you care about team and you care about winning. And I love that. I do. I absolutely love every bit of that. So, I know that you love team, but we're going to talk about you. I want to know what your goals are for your first year in the program. Like, what is going to be Cole LaCrue year one?
Definitely, I want to master the playbook, and I want to, understand the way college football works and understand the life of a student athlete. Because I feel like, high school to college it's very different. There's no saying that, because I feel like, in college, you're going to school like 3 hours a day, but you're at the facility 4 hours a day. And that's something I'm not used to, because, my whole life it's been I go to school for the entire day and then I go to practice for an hour and a half. And so, it's definitely going to be a switch. I definitely want to put on more muscle. I want to get more lean and fast. I want to become a better athlete and just more explosive all around, because I think if I gain that, I think that's just another tool in my package that I can bring to the table. And, I want to come out. I want to go out and I want to go play as a freshman. Hopefully, I understand we have some guys ahead of me and we have some guys that are older than me. But that's not going to I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm excited about it, and it's just going to make me better going against those guys. So it's definitely going to be exciting. And if I somehow don't win the job, if I don't win it, I'll be disappointed in myself. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that affect my attitude and let that affect how I am with the team. I'm going to be the best teammate for everyone, and I'm going to be the best guy for whoever's the starting quarterback. But I want to put myself in a good position where I'm the one succeeding, I'm the one celebrating the touchdowns.
So if you let me just kind of build off of that for a second. If you say you're the number one backup, are you always going to have that mentality like a lot of backup quarterbacks have? I'm only one play away from being the starter. Is that still going to be your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you have to. You can't go in there being, I hope I don't play this game. I hope he doesn't get hurt. Well, not that. I don't mean it like that, but I'm just saying, like, I hope, like, I don't have to go in. But for me, it's like, okay, he won the job now, but what can happen in 4 weeks,
Yep.
And for me, I'm just always going to go out and compete and always go put my best foot down.
That's good. I'm going to toss in a fan question real quick. My friend Cody asked, which NFL player would you say you look up to the most?
This is a hard question, because in today's day and age, there's just so many quarterbacks that I really like following. So for me, the one guy that I've always inspired, I'm out of my play after him, but I love the way he is as a human being. I love the way he has his quarterback position is Peyton Manning. I might be a little biased saying that because I'm a Broncos fan, but he is the reason I chose 18. He's the guy that I've watched since I was young. Every time he was on the Colts and he played the Broncos, I'd be secretly being like, yes, attaboy, nice touchdown. But Peyton's just a guy that I love his character and I love his leadership and I love the way he prepares himself for a game. Because you're never going to out prepare Peyton Manning, and that's the way I've always thought about myself. But in terms of like modeling my game and other stuff, like I'm out of my game off Johnny Manziel and John Elway. Kind of that gunslinger, gonna, kind of make the off balance throws and kind of just take over a game with their playmaking abilities and never really be out of a game. I'm a guy that I love being the comeback kid.
Perfect. Yeah. That was a great answer. So we were just talking about, the whole like being your goals and competition and all that jazz. How do you just in general, how do you feel about the competition in the quarterback room? Obviously, you got Nick Evers signing, but, and then you also obviously got Miles Burkett. How do you feel about, the camaraderie, the competition with you three guys?
I think us three, just with the competition, we're all going to get better. It's going to push ourselves forward and to put our best foot down. And, I think we'll see there'll definitely be some little rivalry, but at the end of the day, we're all going to be brothers because we want the guy to succeed, whoever's at the starting position. And I've watched both their tapes. They're great players, man. And Nick's a stud who went to Oklahoma. I mean, shoot, when I was younger, I thought Oklahoma was the place because of Baker Mayfield. So that's definitely something I'll talk to him about. And then Miles is the Wisconsin kid, so he knows more about the town and know more about the state than I do. So I'll definitely lean on his shoulder with that. And so, it's definitely going to be good to see one of us three get playing time. We're all our room will be young next year, but I think we'll have one of the most talented rooms in the country.
Oh,
awesome! That's good.
I concur.
Dude, your confidence is just, my God, it's infectious, man.
So you kind of touched on it already with Johnny Manziel. I wanted to ask you specifically about that. So, if you say the words Johnny Manziel, might be a little bit of like a negative connotation to that because he came into the NFL and was kind of gone out of the NFL really quick. But what specifically is it about Johnny Manziel? And then what kind of separates it from that, that first thought where it might be like, oh, Johnny Manziel, I don't like that answer, but would be different.
Well, people forget that in college, Johnny Manziel was the truth. He was him. I mean, Johnny Manziel and moneymaker. With Johnny, he's a young kid. I remember people forget that he was a redshirt freshman when he started, or a true freshman. I forget. But he led the Texas A&M, who was new to the SEC, and he made them a winning program again and made them known in the SEC. And so. That's the leadership and that's the moxie, and I just love the swagger that he brings, man. He didn't care who you were; he was going to go out and play his game, and I just loved how he didn't care who he was going against. He wouldn't let anyone change the way he plays, and anyone change the way his heart is for the game, and just the skills that he had I think I have a lot of the similar skills, but hopefully I want to be more improved than him as a passer, and just get even better than him as a runner.
Man, when I heard, you talk about Johnny Manziel, I loved Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. I was one of the few people I was like, dude, this kid is special. He's making shit happen. His ability to extend plays, like it's like no other in the country. You bring that aspect to a Wisconsin football team that's going to play some goddamn defense. Oh, I tell you what, I'm smelling a national title, and I'm not even kidding. So I wanted to ask you a question about what you think about USC and UCLA coming to the Big Ten, and you could talk more about USC if you want, because they're kind of becoming a powerhouse again. They almost made the playoffs this year, and now they're having a crazy recruiting class today. So what are your thoughts on USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten?
It's definitely going to be good for me because it'll bring me back home a little bit and, kind of back to the West Coast. And it's exciting, man. Why would we be scared about some competition? USC, Lincoln Riley, probably the best offensive coach in the country. And then UCLA, you got Chip Kelly, who coached the Mariota and led an Oregon team, and UCLA is back on the rise. So there's definitely going to be competition with them. But, man, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be great playing them and hopefully ending their seasons. But, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting playing them, and it's going to be super fun. I'm glad that they joined.
Yeah. So what would you say, and maybe disregard Camp Randall here if you can, But what stadium are you most excited to play in? It's okay if you say the camp because you haven't played a game there yet. But
the shoe.
what would you
The
say?
shoe.
Okay,
Oh boy. And you're
I
gonna
wanna play the
you're gonna
shoe.
leave with a W. I know it.
that's
I
what I'm
feel it.
saying. Yeah, there we
That's
go.
the point. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's that's some place that my buddy who I've known since I was born practically, he visited them this past year, went to a game out there, and he says there's nothing like it. So I'm just excited to go out there and shut them up.
Oh
my-
hell yeah!
Where do I get a Cole LaCrue jersey? I'm already on board, man.
Get
So
that
I
NIL
care.
going.
Yeah.
So I've seen you pretty active on Twitter, and a lot of guys that are getting offered at Wisconsin, and guys that are, that are making their their final recruiting in Wisconsin, and they're picking up offers and stuff. Did you kind of take it upon yourself to kind of start helping with recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, as the quarterback, I think you should always be the one that helps out with recruiting and should always be the one. So I was kind of laid back because I was, more focused on my senior season with my guys and winning the state championship with them. But once the season ended, I took it upon myself to really be initiative and kind of be on these guys to, commit and tell them that Wisconsin's the place. And so I definitely think it is the quarterback's responsibility to help out and kind of rally, a group together. So it's also fun because I was telling some of the guys I'm like an intern with them. I'm like a recruiting intern is what I called myself. And so I was like another guy in the
Set yourself
recruiting
up for a
department,
job.
recruiting. Yeah.
So in a little bit here, we are going to be talking about the bowl game, and we were just wondering if you're going to the bowl game.
Unfortunately, I'm not. I got to stay with my family. I wish I was going. It is close. It's in Arizona. It'd be a fun one to go to. But for me, it's I'm going to spend these last couple weeks with my family and my friends and kind of just take it all in because this will probably be the last time I live in Colorado. Because I love the state and everything, but for me, my dreams have always been to travel the country and just experience life elsewhere.
And then lead Wisconsin to the national title was added to the list. So I love that list. That's a great list.
No, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Winning the shoe, national title. Okay, I'm all on board with that. So, with all that being said, is there anything that you would like Badger fans to know about you, or is there anything that you'd like to say to Badger Nation? Going when you get to campus in January officially.
Yeah. Well, first thing I want to say to Badger fans is I'm definitely gonna need some places to go eat and go tour about the city of Madison. Because obviously I saw the State Street and I saw everything on campus, but me being an explorer, I want to go experience the best places in Madison to go eat and the best places to go eat in Wisconsin, and kind of just tour and have fun. But with Badgers fans, the guy that they're getting a winner. They're getting a guy that's got some oxygen, they're getting some confidence in them, and man, I'm gonna play my game, and I hope everyone can be on board with it. I might not be the highest ranked recruit that you guys have ever gotten, but I'm gonna give you the most heart you guys have ever seen. And I'm going to lay it out there every game. I always play with the mentality that this could be my last game ever. So I'm just excited to let them see that for themselves. And, hopefully I see a lot of LaCrue jerseys in the stands. Hopefully you get some new black jerseys too, which I think could be exciting.
Yes,
and,
campaign for that. We will definitely sign that petition.
Don't worry. I've been on it. I've been on it for a little while now. But
and the black helmets too. We want to see the black helmets back.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We just trust. And I'm excited for everyone just to see the type of player I am because I know I'm special, so it'll be good.
All right, we have a guy who watches our show pretty regularly, maybe our biggest fan of our show. Taylor asked, "What are your hobbies outside of football?"
Ooh, so I like to golf. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but golfing is fun. I'm a pretty good wakeboarder. When I was younger, I don't do snowboarding anymore, but when I was younger, I thought I was going to be a professional snowboarder. I competed Olympically when I was like 7 to 9. And I didn't believe it either until I forgot about it for a while. And
Colorado, I should have just guessed that you were skiing or snowboarding.
Yeah, but I love spending time with my family, my friends, and something that I'm not too proud of, but I really like to do it as I love to cook. I like being my own little chef. No. I mean, I get it. I don't like to publicly say that because I'm not like a Gordon Ramsay. I'm not anything special. But I think cooking lets me be in my own space and allows me to do my thing. And I love being outdoors. Anytime I can get outdoors, go for a hike and kind of just be out there, go for a run with my dogs, and just kind of experience that. Look at the stars and look at the constellations. Man, it's definitely a fun time.
You should definitely stick around in Wisconsin in the summer. Then that's when it's actually nice outside and fun to be outside.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to get on the lake.
Summer. We're talking about summer, and I got to ask you a question real quick. You said you like golf and you want to experience summer in Wisconsin. My dad actually has a golf outing in my hometown of Kiel, Wisconsin. So if you wanted to, man, we could extend an invite, and we just act like some fools, man. You'd fit right in with all of us hooligans, just drinking, acting some fools. I'm not good at golf, so you'd beat me, but there is some hole prizes if you'd be willing.
Yeah, you guys can have fun, and I'll definitely come join. You guys can have fun with the drinks. I'll just sit there with my water and just enjoy the time and kick you guys' ass.
Great answer. Yeah.
That's usually over my birthday weekend too, so that'd be a sweet birthday present. Hang out with Cole LaCrue and watch guys make fools of themselves and get some terrible sunburn while they're drunk. I've only seen that happen several times.
Oh God.
It's a shit show, man. I won't lie to you.
Oh man.
All right, so I know this is a question that people from Wisconsin are going to want to know the answers to. How many times have you eaten at Culver's?
Oh.
In my lifetime?
Yeah.
Probably like eight times.
All right, that's
okay.
People got to know.
So he's familiar with it.
I gotta ask. Why is Culver's such like a popular place? Did it originate from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Prairie du Sac, Wisconsin. I want to say. I think the headquarters, which is like the southwest corner, but I'm pretty sure that's where it's headquartered in. So, but yeah, it's headquartered in Wisco for sure.
Listen, man, you're going to hear about Culver's and you're going to hear about Quick Trip. Those are the two things you're going to hear about all the time. I promise you.
Yeah.
Quick Trip is the place
I'm
to
looking
be.
forward to that then. Yeah,
Tim's
I mean Culver's. I don't mind Culver's. It's solid. I love their burgers. I'm not a big fan of their fries though. But we don't have one near me. We have one down south near the Broncos facilities and stuff. So anytime I'm down there though, I get a butter burger.
It's the way to go. It's just I don't know what it is about Culver's. Like obviously the food is good, but I feel like it's kind of becoming like a Wisconsin stereotype that people are like, oh, you're from Wisconsin, like you go to Culver's, right? Like when people come to Wisconsin, they got to go to Culver's. It's like I don't know.
I think it's pretty much equivalent to like the In-N-Out like on the West Coast, or like what's another one? I guess like Chick-fil-A down south. Not nearly as many locations, but it's kind of like the same like category. I feel like if you go to like a certain area of the country.
That's cool. Yeah. For me, I'm a big Chipotle guy, so I'm trying to work something out where I can get free Chipotle.
Nice.
Chipotle is
that's right on State Street for you. So you'll be good there.
It was the first place I visited actually. When
I was just gonna say, he's like, I know, I've been there 3 times already.
I'm gonna tell you, Cole. If you want to know about Madison, Mikey, our Badger expert, he knows Madison like the back of his hand. He's the guy to talk to, man. He'll tell you everything. He'll tell you the best party spots and all that. He's the man.
I'm sure he'll be acclimated day one with his older teammates specifically. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried.
Yeah.
All right. Well, definitely want to thank you again for taking the time to join us. It's awesome, and I really appreciated some of your answers. Actually, most of your answers, or all of your answers, even. And I think being able to kind of humanize some of the guys that you're going to see playing on TV on Saturdays is a really good way to kind of relate the players to the fans and show that these athletes, these players are people. And like you being in college, you're going to be a student athlete. So I think it's important to have some of these conversations, especially, some of the ones like asking about, your dad and stuff like that, where it's something that's kind of a vulnerable thing so that people can see that, this is Cole LaCrue. He's going to be wearing number 18 for the Badgers, but there's a person underneath that jersey and helmet. So I appreciate your answers and being, candid and and expressing those for us and taking the time to join us. So I just want to say again, we appreciate your time and for joining us.
Thank you, man. It was a fun show, man. And anytime you guys need me again, if you need anything else, just shoot me a text. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be a ride.
Yes,
awesome. Well,
we're pulling for you.
Enjoy your celebration dinner, and we would definitely love to have you back. So we'll stay in touch.
Also,
sounds good, man. You guys have a great day.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Hey, everyone who's watching, Merry Christmas to you guys, and hope everyone just has safe holidays, and everyone get home safe and just be okay with everything. So, thank you guys once again, and I look forward to hearing you guys from you guys soon.
Awesome,
take care,
sir.
Take care,
thanks,
man.
Cole.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Look at Jake promoting the Eddie Open. Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
That was Josh. Josh
Hold
said
on.
it in the comments. That was Josh.
I can't see the chats. Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense.
Let me comment on Cole real quick. I want us all, this is kind of off script, but I want us all to give like our initial thoughts on what we thought of Cole. And for me, that kid is smart. The kid is just oozing confidence and is just competitive as all hell. And all three of those things combined can make a very, very dangerous football player, let alone a quarterback. I don't care what position you play, but you put all three of those things in a quarterback. And I think the thing that really, really got me was when he was talking about Peyton Manning. And he talked about how you're not going to out-prepare a Peyton Manning. I was like, all right. This kid's giving me the little Aaron Rodgers vibe with the chip on his shoulder. Now he's talking about preparing like Peyton Manning. He's talking about being Money Manziel. I'm like, bro, he's talking about winning at Ohio State. I mean, shit. I know that there's stuff that he would
at the shoe.
He's not going to say. Like he wants to say we're going to go win a national title. And I know that's how he feels. I can just tell that from the moment that he started talking. But I'm very excited, and I'm definitely going to need a Cole LaCrue jersey.
Mike, what was your impression of him?
Oh, he definitely fits, the confidence gene, and I think he sounds like a badass MFer if we're gonna put it that way, and that's the kind of mentality you need, especially as a quarterback when you conduct a huddle. Especially even in a locker room too, you need that kind of guy that's gonna make you wanna play for him, whether you're a lineman, receiver, running back, etc. So I love the moxie. I love the confidence. He's definitely got something to prove with being under recruited. And when you look at his film, it's like, what the hell? What? Like, why did this happen or what? But he's got something to prove. I love that confidence. That's what definitely stuck out to me mostly.
I think part of what it is like obviously the confidence stands out really big, and like it shows even like especially when he talked about Central Michigan, and he's like yeah, go ahead, find somebody else. I'm going to find somebody else too, and it's going to be better than Central Michigan.
Yeah, that was something.
The stack on this kid, I was like, holy shit, this kid.
I was just about to bring up his maturity, and then Jake goes, "Damn, the sack on this kid."
Come on, man. We're all just dudes. We're just guys being dudes, right? And if we're watching the game, we're like, that guy's got a big old nutsack, man, making that play. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And that's how
I agree with Bill too. Bill said it's not difficult to see why Coach Fickle likes him, and I think it's really cool to see at the same time. We had CJ Getz on last week, and now Cole LaCrue this week, and hearing them both talk about like how like Coach Fickle is relating to the players, and for Cole LaCrue being a guy who was recruited before and then was kind of in limbo for a couple days, and then was he comes out the other side of it, and they're like, hey, we still want you here, and he's like, this is what we're doing, and Coach Fickle being able to lay that vision out for a recruit. And now I think I should have asked him this, but I'm sure he would say yes, is that when Coach Fickle brings up something and says a phrase like the new era, and now Cole can feel like he's part of that new era. And I think he's potentially got a unique opportunity to be kind of the first of that next generation, that new era of Wisconsin football. And then bringing up Phil Longo, he runs a style of the air raid offense. So it's not, it's not the, prototypical, by the book air raid. He runs kind of his own version of it. But for Cole LaCrue to then see that in the offensive coordinator that he's going to be under and being excited for that, it kind of seems like there's a reinforcement between players and coaches, which I think is encouraging for the future.
Yeah. After watching this film and then doing my studying on Phil, I think that's going to be a very good marriage, I guess I'll call it. It's going to be a very good combination. Then you add in a 230-pound running back coming at you. I mean, I guess good luck. Did you look at our schedule next year?
Now a 4-star receiver.
Right. I mean, not to get too far ahead, but did you see our soft-ass schedule next year?
I haven't seen the schedule, no.
Dude, the hardest game we have is Ohio State
at home, yeah.
All of our road games are winnable.
Yeah.
We could easily win 10 games next year. I honestly believe that. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm not trying to get too far ahead, but
I agree. I think a lot of dominoes need to fall. Yeah, I want to see some more a couple more transfers coming in. This could be a topic for another time, but I mean, I don't think there's any reason why we can, make some noise. That's what I will say.
Yeah.
We could maybe talk about transfers a little bit more next Wednesday, because next Wednesday we're only going to have one Badger basketball game, and then we'll have just a recap of the Badger Bowl game, which, Mike, before we let you go, we need to know your thoughts on the bowl game for Wisconsin against Oklahoma State next Tuesday.
Do you want me to start with Wisconsin? I'm just reading the line here. I guess I'll start with
yeah, I put defense first. Give me your thoughts on the defense, and then give me your thoughts on the offense after that.
Okay. So, I mean, defense, what's going to be very interesting is how we're going to play without the likes of Keanu Benton and Nick Herbig. I'm looking forward to, seeing some guys that, aren't on the field nearly as much this year. So I'm hoping that I'll start at, nose tackle. Gio said he's gonna get the start, and then I'm looking forward to seeing Curtis Neal on the field maybe a little bit too. He was a highly touted recruit. He was deciding between Ohio State and Wisconsin at the end of the day, and I think his recruitment would have been even bigger. But I think he tore his ACL or something along those lines his senior year of high school, and I don't think as many colleges were getting really, really aggressive to get him. But Wisconsin stuck the course with him, committed to us, and I'm just looking forward to see how much progression he's had, because we are going to see him on the field in some capacity, I think. So that's probably number one for me on defense. And then outside linebacker, Herbig, I mean, we got, CJ Getz is going to be on one side. How's that other side going to look like with, DP, Daryl Peterson? You got CJ Ballers and Caden Johnson. Just looking to see what the snap count's going to be like with all those guys, and just looking at what the progression has been like, and even in the last 2 weeks with bowl prep, because those guys are fighting for reps, to get on the field, even if it's 2 6-6 teams, going at it. Coach Pickle's watching. The other staff, the new staff is going to be watching too. Mm-hmm. So it's an open competition, because all those guys are back next year. And First impressions can sometimes go a long way, before going into spring ball. So the competition is what I'm looking forward to with those two positions.
What about the offense?
Offense, I mean, I know we chatted about this. At the end of the day, I guess I would love to see Miles Burkett play most of the snaps, if not all of them. Love Chase Wolf. The fact that he gave 5 or even 6 years to this program, being the backup this whole time, I think, speaks, volumes, and the character that a kid has to have to go through that. Would it be the worst to see him get a few snaps? Maybe not. No. But, if we're talking about the future in college football, it is a business. I know we have it's just a business at the end of the day. That's coaches and even players now. I would love to see Burkett get most of the snaps. I'm, pulling for him as well as all the other young guys in the room, but I think we need to see what Burkett has. I think, Braylon, I don't know how much, if they give him 20 plus snaps, 20 plus carries, that's great. wouldn't mind seeing a Malusi get on the field, which, I'm not worried about that. And then the offensive line, I guess, because now you're going to have, guys like Tanner Borrellini going back to his first original spot at center. And then you might even see guys like a true freshman like Joe Brunner get some reps, or even like the Trey Weddings of the world. Where are they going to have him? Because Riley Mullman should be at right tackle. So just maybe that starting O-line, what that's going to end up being like, and maybe how they divide up reps if they do along those lines. And then the receiving spot, I mean, that should be pretty normal, I think, for the most part there. And even the tight end spot is going to be kind of, up in the air because I know he's been banged up all year for the most part. Rucci's going to be out there. And Jalen Frank, actually, it's actually a good point, Eschenbach. And, other than that, because it's a good topic to bring up because Jalen Franklin transferred out to Michigan State. So that's one guy that you lose right there. So I think those two guys are going to get most of the snaps. But I'm looking forward to newer guys at the end of the day, offensive, defense, getting, new reps. Kind of like last year against Arizona State, we had Marcus Allen and Skylar Bell for that matter. They had big catches in that game. So, and they hardly got any reps at all during the regular season. So I'm looking forward to new guys or new younger guys just step up and, see what they got. Open competition for the new staff to see. And, that's why I'm very excited going into next season as well.
Awesome.
Give me
your
score predictions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good idea.
Head first.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Head first. Backups on both sides. I'm going to go 2017 Wisconsin, I would say.
Okay. Now from your heart.
Oh, my God. My heart,
just lay it out there, dude. You're not getting paid for it.
17-14 Wisconsin. I don't think there's going to be many points scored on this at the end of the day because I don't know. I just think both teams, a lot of young guys on both sides of the ball, probably some, still trying to get used to that new playbook possibly too for like really young guys. So I just don't think there will be much score on this one at the end of the day. If Miles does get the start, I want him to do really, really well. It just won't surprise me if he does some freshman mistakes, quote unquote. And, but that comes with growing pains and everything. So I'm really pulling for him, but I think at the end of the day, I think both sides aren't going to score too many points, but we will get the win.
We'll see what these score predictions end up with Jake and I, but thank you for joining us again. We'll probably have you back again soon, I'm sure. And thanks for joining us for the Cole LaCrue interview. I think it was good having three people kind of asking questions and getting some different ideas and viewpoints in there. So appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Take care, Mikey. Have a Merry Christmas, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, you guys as well. I'll be back soon.
All right. Take care. All right, Jake. Let's start with the offense. We're going to have Badger football. Then we got Badger basketball. And we got 3 Bucks games to talk about yet. So let's rip it off.
Let's dig in, baby.
Badgers offense against Oklahoma State's defense. Let's talk. What are you thinking?
I think we're going to run the ball a lot. So I was originally on board when I was thinking about this. I was like, we're not going to score that many points. We're just going to run the ball. We're going to do nice, safe throws. But on the other end of the spectrum, right? I'm thinking why the hell wouldn't they just fucking let it rip, right? Let's just go and let's just see what we got. We're going to get the first taste of this Phil Longo offense, right? Little sprinkles of this and that in there. And why don't they just put both quarterbacks in uncomfortable situations and just see what the hell happens, right?
I think you're going to see that thought reflected in my score predictions.
Yeah, I did go a little bit higher scoring than Mike because I'm like, they're going to let it rip, right? There's no way that Fickle's going to come in, bring the energy that he did, talk about changes uncomfortable, and then go conservative in the ball game. Nah, he's not that kind of guy. So it's just what if you're on offense or you're on defense, let's just go. You gotta adapt the mindset of this is what's gonna happen now. And like Cole said, this is a new chapter in Wisconsin Badgers football. So I say we're gonna go out there, we're gonna sling that son of a bitch, and Maybe Burkett just goes crazy, right? We don't know.
I'm down. I'm down for slinging it. You gave me credit for it, which I appreciate. But like I said it, like when the Badgers were looking for like new coach, and we were wondering if Jim Leonard was going to get the job. I'm like, I'm down to just see the Badgers go full air raid. Like let's just go crazy. And now we have an air raid coach, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. So on the Badgers depth chart that's listed for the bowl game, it says Chase Wolf's name first.
Yeah.
But an important distinction is that it was listed as Chase Wolf or Miles Burkett. It didn't say that Chase Wolf was starting or playing the whole game or however many snaps. It said Chase Wolf or Miles Burkett. Now, we saw Chase Wolf a little bit. We saw him 2 for 6 against Minnesota. That was the only action he had this year. He was 15 for 28 in his career. It's 53.6%. He's got 162 career yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now, don't rule out Miles Burkett because it's totally conceivable that he starts and plays this entire game because he can still be a redshirt freshman because you can play up to 4 games and still redshirt, and he's only played in one other game this year. So I wanted to put that out there. And then Mike was talking about the offensive line a little bit. There is no Joe Tittman. He is going to the NFL draft, so he is not playing in the bowl game. As far as Oklahoma State's defense goes, it's going to be interesting. Bill said this game is kind of a freebie as far as players are concerned. Tear the wrapping off the new playbook and let it rip. Sure. Treat it like a Christmas present. Tear it open and let's see what we got. And let's take it out, play with it, and have fun. Perfect.
I agree.
Perfect analogy. All right. Listen to this. Oklahoma State's starting linebacker and starting cornerback transferred out, right?
Yeah, you're talking Mason Cobb, right?
Even before that, they allowed 460 yards per game of offense.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a lot. So many yards. That's all of the yards.
It is almost all of the yards.
You're 40 yards away from allowing 500 yards of offense per game.
And that's a fucking average, bro. Jeez.
That's crazy.
Dude, this team was ranked number 7 in the nation at one point.
Oh man, that's rough. So basically the way that I'm looking at this, and there's no Isaac Arendo in this game too. He's a graduate transfer, so he's out of the running back room. But looking at those yards, Oklahoma State allowed almost pretty much 180 rushing yards a game.
Yep.
That's a lot. So, the Badgers might very well lean on their running backs. It might not be the traditional, we're going to run the ball 60% of the time. But when Phil Longo was brought in, looking at his offense, the way that he kind of sets it up is that they use the pass to set up the run. So that might be something, where they come out in a big jumbo set and they start running a bunch of play action because they're like, oh, it's Wisconsin. They're going to run the ball a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So, that might be something that becomes part of the thing. So is there a specific matchup that you're watching for?
On our offense or our defense?
On our offense.
Yeah. Well, you talked about their linebacker, and that's why I referred to Mason Cobb, because when I was looking at stats, I was like, this guy is everything for this defense, and a defense that doesn't really have much. So then I started looking at the depth chart for the bowl game, and I brought it up again. Their linebackers are Xavier Benson, 6'2", 224, redshirt junior. And the other starting linebackers, number 11, Lamont Bishop, 6'2", 235, redshirt senior. So I'm looking at those heights and weights, and I'm like, they are the exact same size as my running back. So when I'm looking at that, I'm like, they better have their big boy pants on, because I think that we are going to see a different version of Braylon Allen. And I am going to allude to what you said, where take a page out of the Packers playbook, right? where they swing A.J. Dillon out, get him into space. Now he has the football, and he gets 2 steps to run at you full speed. You're kind of fucked, right? Let's just be honest. If you're an 18-year-old kid and you're 180, you're not excited. That's I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
If we get nothing else from this game besides Braylon Allen one-on-one with a small defensive back, like, I'm totally happy with it.
And I am absolutely thinking that's what it's going to be. And you've heard me and you on this show talk about how we think that Chez Mellusi is already a great dual threat college running back. So Chez Mellusi in that role is going to be awesome. And then, if Braylon Allen can clean up the hands and really become good at that, that's what can get the NFL eyes on him, because running backs are expected to catch the ball now. So Braylon Allen could really put himself on the map with this game.
I think this is kind of already kind of the mold that he's growing into, but it's his player composition or comparison when he ends up in the draft, it's going to be A.J. Dillon. And what has A.J. Dillon done the most in years 2 and 3 that he didn't have in year 1? It's catching the football.
Yeah.
So if he can continue to develop that, like you said, I mean, teams are going to view him the way that the Packers view A.J. Dillon, where it's like he can do anything. He can get us the short yardage. He's got actually some sneaky speed. And, we can use him in the passing game. Yeah, I mean,
Pat chose to pick the one running back in the NFL. He chose the one running back in the NFL that doesn't catch passes. And by the way, against the Packers, he caught a 40 yards. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, which was annoying because Quay Walker got held on that play, but it is what it is. But I mean, Derrick Henry is definitely the outlier in the NFL.
I agree.
He's definitely the exception, not the rule when it comes to pass catchers. And with the way the NFL is going, outside of maybe Tennessee, most teams like to have is at least 2 guys in the running back room.
That's fair, Dad. That's fair.
So for me, the matchup that I'm watching is the offensive line under new coaching. Bob Bostad has gone to Indiana to be their he's their offensive coordinator, I think, actually, in Indiana. But also on this offensive line, there are no seniors. So everybody's playing for 2023 starting spots, and playing time is going to be, this is the beginning of the audition for the new coaching staff. And there's going to be a bunch of shuffling with Joe Tippmann not being on the line, kind of like Mike said. So Bordolini's going to go back to center. Wettig will probably be back in there. I mean, it's going to be a big shuffle and new coaching. So I'm watching the offensive line.
Definitely.
All right. Switch to the defensive side of the ball.
So, like us with Burkett, who's a freshman, right? You look at the depth chart for Oklahoma State, both quarterbacks are technically freshmen. One's a redshirt freshman and one's a true freshman. So they have Garrett Rangel, 6'2", 181, freshman out of Frisco, Texas. And then Gunnar Gundy. What a name, by the way. Just want to say that. The quarterback Gunnar, I mean, he's got a perfect quarterback name.
He was born to be a quarterback, yeah.
He really was, and that's how I felt about it. But looking at both these guys, and I took a couple minutes and watched a little bit of how they carry themselves on the field and decision-making and stuff. I think the defense can just straight up just get after them. And I know we're going to be running a new defensive scheme that we run a 3-3-5 now, I believe. So that'll be really interesting to see how they integrate the big guys we have on the team. Our new favorite Wisconsin Badger, CJ Getz, see him in his new role. And kind of see how they attack these freshman quarterbacks. This game is it's really big for both teams, I feel like. With finding the depth that they have in the experience, the in-game experience for the young guys is really, really going to be massive, I think, especially at the quarterback position. So
you know what I feel like this game is?
Especially
from the Wisconsin viewpoint. It's like if you ever see divers, swimming pool divers, not like scuba divers. When they go and they jump on the diving board and the board goes all the way down, that's what this game is, because everything is up from here. So this is the lowest point of the diving board, and everything is going to springboard off of this game. That's really how I'm starting to feel about this.
Mm-hmm. So one more quick thing. I was looking at Spencer Sanders' stats because he was the starting quarterback for much of the season, and I was kind of comparing, the effects of his high interceptions in certain games, how that affects the team. And when he was bad, the team was bad, and that's not shocking to say, oh, when the quarterback's bad. But there are teams that can survive with poor quarterback play, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are not one of them. So when they're in games of 15-plus margin, 6 of his 9 interceptions came in those games. So it's almost like once you get to this team early, it's almost like they're a little mentally weak. And I feel like we can stomp on their throats. So I'm looking for us to attack. I really am. I'm hoping Fickle has these boys ready to play, which I have absolutely no doubt that he will. And I'm ready for us to go whoop some ass. Again, a Wisconsin football team beating Cowboys. Never better,
So what's a matchup you're watching for the Badgers defense?
I am watching our defense against those quarterbacks because of what I said. I feel like we're going to get after them early. I really feel like we're going to play like a really, really aggressive brand of defense. Like we're going to be sending corners. We're going to be, stunting middle linebackers. I mean, I feel like the Badgers are absolutely about to just go crazy and get after these guys. So I'm excited. I'm watching our defense versus the young quarterback play of the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
All right, I'm going to give you my matchup first, just because it ties in exactly to what you were saying with taking advantage of freshman quarterbacks.
Yep.
And the specific player that I'm watching is John Torchio.
Oh, okay.
Because of a guy that could end up in the draft, Torchio's playing in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So he could actually bump his draft stock up a little bit by playing well in this game.
Mm-hmm. With it.
Isaac said, "What's up, boys? Merry Chrysler." I've got to say, Isaac, the Merry Chrysler vine, that's like my wife's favorite vine. Like she loves that video.
Mine's the look at all these chickens. That's the best one.
Courtney loves that one too.
It's the best one.
I was just talking the other day to my dad, and I'm like the one where the inmate he's getting his thing read, and the lawyer reads it, and he goes, and I quote, "Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal," and the inmate goes.
Vine was so perfect, bro. It's like a grown-up version of TikTok. Come on, man. They had to ruin everything for us.
All right, now that we've gotten distracted, back to the Badgers defense. So I mentioned Torchio. Now, listen to the stats between Garrett Rangel and Chase Wolf. Chase Wolf has thrown 15 completions on 28 passes. Rangel has thrown 45 completions on 84 attempts. That is exactly 3 times the completions, exactly 3 times the attempts. Same exact percentage. Now, with those 45 completions, Rangel has 482 yards. But just like Chase Wolf, he also has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Chase Wolf and Garrett Rangel are the same guy. It's the Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other.
That's a great meme. That's definitely top 5. Definitely top 5, in my opinion.
That the angry cat where it's like the 2 chicks that are crying and they're pointing at the cat. That's okay. So we know, like Mike said, no Keanu Benton, no Nick Herbig. They're both going to the draft. Torchio's playing, and this is possibly the thing that I'm most intrigued / excited for. Mm-hmm. We get one game of Luke Fickell, Mike Tressel, and Jim Leonard.
Yeah. We
get one game. This is like one of those that you're going to take and you're going to put in a vault afterwards and be like, yo, you remember the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in 2022? The Badgers were bad that year. Paul Chris got fired and Jim Leonard didn't get the job and they hired Luke Fickell and he kicked off this huge era. But there was one game where they coached together.
That's going to be a trivia question in like 20 years.
Right? What bowl game did Jim Leonard and Luke Fickell co-coach at Wisconsin? And that's kind of it, Isaac. Like it could be a Leonard audition tape. It could be something where, like, I just want to throw this out because I want this possibility to remain, where Fickell and Leonard are so in sync that, you know, Leonard changes his mind and decides to stick around. I'm still holding out hope until he says that he's going somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't think he will go anywhere else. I don't think he wants to.
I still think he's going to take 2023 off. I still feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't think he's going to do anything in 2023, and then he's going to come back the following year with, you know, with some clarity and some, you know, more in touch with himself. Yeah, all-star coaching, Dad. Basically, that's what it's going to be. We got the interim head coach and the new era head coach, and we get to have them together for one game and one game only. Now listen to this. This is yikes. So Oklahoma State is 90th in college football in rushing yards per game at 128.5. But they pass the ball 41.4 times per game, which is 9th in the country.
A fucking yikes.
That's a big yikes. And now they're on to all freshman quarterbacks. Not only that, Isaac, yes, Braylon Allen is playing in this game. Not only that, their number one running back also entered the transfer portal.
Yep. So,
I will say that Oklahoma State, they do have some decent wide receivers, but they're going to need time to get the ball to them.
Yeah.
So, that being said, what stands out to you as a key to victory for the Badgers?
My key to victory is going to be pretty bland and also pretty important. It's the turnover battle. We're going to have a lot of inexperienced players in this game, both sides, not just, you know, Oklahoma State as we're bashing them. No offense to them. Sure, there are a bunch of great kids that have also battled hard and living their dreams of playing college football. So the turnover battle is going to be really, really important. And if the Badgers can win it, I think they can have a pretty sizable margin of victory. Well, when you hear my score predictions, they're pretty big.
Mine are very different on my two. But for me, a key to victory is control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at a bunch of guys who are potentially playing for playing time, you know, for a guy like Torcho to maybe bump his draft stock, for guys to increase their roles for 2023. But neither one of these teams is the same team that they've been all season. They're both massively different than the way that they've been that got them to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm looking at. That being said, CJ Getz causes a fumble. CJ Getz causes all the fumbles.
If he causes a fumble, bro, that'd be fire.
We'd have to have him back and be like, dude, be the hype man for him. All right, Jake, give me your score prediction from the head.
28-20 Wisconsin.
Mike was really close. He almost said mine exactly. He said 2017. Mine is 21-17.
Oh. Okay.
A little bit of one-upsmanship there. All right, give me your score prediction from the heart. I think these are going to be interesting.
From the heart, 31-17.
Oh, I went same margin of victory, but I went more points.
Oh, wow.
I went 35-21.
Oh, okay.
Looking at all of the yards that Oklahoma State has given up, especially in rushing yards, I feel like this is where like Braylon Allen or Chez Malusi could rip off like a super long touchdown or multiple super long touchdowns. And then I went from 17 points for Oklahoma State to 21, just because if that happens, Oklahoma State's going to get the ball back a little bit quicker. And, you know, maybe they have another touchdown drive instead of a field goal drive. So that's why I went with the higher points for Oklahoma State as well. But definitely going to be interesting.
Yes, it will be.
So did you know that Oklahoma State started 5-0 and then they went 2-5 in their next 7 games?
I did. Remember, I said they were number 7. And then they got, they got mollywopped by Kansas State. 48-0. Now I know Kansas State's good, but they played Baylor close. And they beat Baylor. They played TCU really close.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you play TCU close and then just get absolutely killed by Kansas State? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. I don't make the rules.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the Badger Bowl game?
I am excited for the bowl game, but man, oh man, am I excited for next season. I think that we're gonna go crazy next year.
It's gonna be fun, and
I could see a USC like rise in Wisconsin football.
Sure, I could see that. I'm gonna be so locked in on trying to pay attention to the interactions between Luke Fickell and Jim Leonhard.
Yeah.
Because we've heard that they've talked and stuff like that, and we get to hear Fickell say what he's talked to Jim Leonhard about, but actually physically seeing them interact together, I think is going to be really interesting. So I'm going to be super locked in on that, honestly.
I'm with that.
All right, let's talk Badger basketball. We have one basketball game, a very weird basketball game that was like a really concerning first half, and then like a damn, where was this in the first half, second half of the Badger game? So let's talk about the Badgers and Lehigh.
Yeah, what a tale of two halves, man. I mean,
exactly.
We're getting punched in the mouth. They're giving us everything we have. You're seeing us kind of backpedal, like, whoa, chill out. It wasn't me, like kind of that kind of deal, like, hey, whoa, hold up. And then all of a sudden, Wisconsin, I don't know what happened, man, but they flipped the switch, and it was just like, all right, this is what I expected from Tip, but I'm glad you son bitches got it together.
They would have won by 50 if they played like that in both halves.
Oh my God, they would have absolutely housed them. I do want to give credit to Lehigh, man. They got some tough kids over there. To come into Madison as a Lehigh, like no disrespect, but like come into Madison where they don't lose a lot in the Cole Center. They beat a lot of top-ranked teams in the Cole Center. The Badgers are very, very good with the home cooking. To come in there and play as tough as they did and get tough buckets, for the entirety of the first half, credit to them. I mean, they played really, really tough. I will say I'm loving what I'm seeing from Steven Crowell last couple games, man. I believe that Steven Crowell is starting to put together the building blocks to what kind of player he can be. So you heard after the Iowa game, and we talked about Steven Crowell. You heard after the Iowa game, Coach Gard talk about, Crowell doesn't believe in the kind of player he can be. And you could definitely see that in his mannerisms a little bit. But the way when he plays aggressive and he's scoring the ball, and we know that he can pass the ball, and if he gets a little bit more aggressive on rebounding, he could literally be a cornerstone for this team, in my opinion, just looking at his skill set. He finished 6 of 11, 15 points, 1 of 1 from 3. He had a steal. So from that game, I was most impressed with Steven Crowell, to be honest with you. I do want credit to Dis, obviously, Connor Thregan. He was balling too. And then Hepburn didn't even have a crazy game, but we ended up whooping their ass. So when you have a team where one of your best players doesn't have the greatest game and you could still, cook somebody by plus, that's a good sign to me.
So this half, like Bill said, the Lehigh had a wide open lane to the basket in the first half. Mm-hmm. It was tough. I mean, Badgers also had 4 turnovers in just over 4 minutes. They had 6 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game and had a 6-minute drought in the first half where they did not make a field goal.
Yeah.
And then, like I said last week, and I'm going to probably keep looking at this, is that guys are catching the ball looking to pass. They're not catching the ball and looking like they're a threat to score. So I'm going to stick on that until I see it change. I don't have a direct line where I can just pick up the phone and call Greg Gard and say, hey, tell guys to be ready in a triple threat position where they're ready to pass, shoot, or drive. Mm-hmm. But, catching and looking like you're looking for somebody to get the ball out of your hands, I'd just like to see the Badgers present themselves as more of a threat in that area. I want to give Jordan Davis some credit. He missed his first 3, and it was a pretty ugly miss, but he hit his next 2 threes. And then the Badgers went on a 10-0 run. They got the lead back. A 5 of 9 start from 3 helped them get through that drought. And the first half turnovers. The defense, like Bill said, needed to be better. Too many points in the paint. 22 out of their 32 first half points were in the paint. Yeah. And then when it comes to screens, there was a lot of missed communication where, guys weren't sure if it was going to go over the screen, if they were going to switch the screen, and they lost some miscommunication on that as well. And then we get to the second half. Stephen Crowell scores the first 4 points out of the half. The Badgers get down 5 after missing some more free throws. Connor Esigian comes in. He hits a 3, draws an offensive foul, hits another 3, and kicks off an 11-0 Badgers run. And they don't look back. Connor Esigian provided a spark. Max Klesmit got in on it. Stephen Crowell got in on it. Mm-hmm. The Badgers finished 11 of 21 on threes. Do you remember the last time we could say the Badgers were over 50% on threes?
No, I don't. I do not.
I remember last year a lot of games where there was the Badgers were 2 for 20 on threes, or they were 3 for 14 on threes, and it's it was rough.
Shit, just against Iowa, they were 6 of 22. So I mean, yeah.
All right. So you mentioned Stephen Crowell. You mentioned he was 6 of 11. He was 1 of 6 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
He was 5 of 5 in the second half.
He was balling, bro.
Tyler Wall, he was 5 of 11. He had 13 points. Jordan Davis, career high, 14 points on 5 of 8 shooting, including 4 of 6 behind the three-point line.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. 4 of 6 on threes. What a stud. You mentioned Chucky Hepper and his 8 points. Max Klesmit also had 8 points. He was 2 of 3 on threes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is fun. So, rebounds is one thing. Badgers had 32. Lehigh had 20. Wisconsin had 10 offensive rebounds. Lehigh had 3.
That's important.
That's good stuff there because that limits big time second chance points. Lehigh only had 2 second chance points.
Wow.
The Badgers missed 3 free throws, so we're at 5 fundamental failure points with points off of turnovers to go. But they allowed 15 points off turnovers. Adds up to 20 fundamental failure points. It's just the one aspect that Badgers are normally good at is taking care of the ball, and they gave up a bunch of points off turnovers. It's they could have had a sub-15 fundamental failure point game. That would have been nuts.
Yeah, it really would have been.
And then the last thing I want to say about this game, the Badgers made 12 of their final 14 shots.
Oh, my God.
They shot 65.5% in the second half.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yes. So that happened. If the Badgers could play a 40-minute game shooting 65.5%, the score would be ugly.
Oh, that would be crazy, bro.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say about this game?
No.
Okay. Badgers only have one game between now and next Wednesday. It is Friday against Grambling State. Win or lose, what do you think?
Win.
Yes, I also have that one down as a W.
Badgers are up to number 17, I believe, now, right?
They are, yes.
So we're climbing up the rankings. We're starting to get respect. So just keep stacking those W's, and we'll see what happens.
All right. So speaking of not stacking up W's, we got to get the ugly game out of the way with the Bucks. Happened on the same day as the Badgers game against Lehigh. Definitely not as fun of a game to watch. This game, I was annoyed, honestly, within the first 30 seconds of this game.
Yeah.
Because Chris Middleton, he's coming off a screen. He knows he's about to get fouled, so he goes to start shooting. He gets fouled, and somehow it's not an opportunity for a 4-point play. I still watching it, like I can't wrap my head around it. If he's anticipating the contact and that's why he shot and the shot happened before the foul, how is it not a shooting foul? Like I just can't wrap my mind around it. How you call that on the floor?
The problem with basketball, you can say football too, is that the refs have too much control over the game. So, and I brought it up with, with them calling a foul where they have literally admitted that, if he makes it, we're not calling a foul. If he misses that shot, we're going to call a foul. And then the ref sees the foul coming too, right? Just like Chris does, and he anticipates blowing the whistle. I just don't understand the difference between continuation when the guy gets fouled for a layup and then not doing the same thing for a 3-point shot. To me, that makes no sense. I don't understand.
It's not even like he was falling down and he just like flung the ball towards the rim. Like he was legit coming off a screen and pulling up to shoot a jump shot.
Right. I mean, this game pissed me off, to be completely honest with you. We only had 9 fucking turnovers and we lost by 40.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. And it's really frustrating. So the Bucks started 2 of 13 from this game.
Yeah.
Not having Drew obviously showed. And they started 6 of 24 and 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. So it wasn't even just missing layups. They were missing threes too. They were 1 for 10 to start the game on threes. And then on the other end, John Morant was causing problems with his speed and athleticism. The Bucks really could have used Drew Holiday in this game.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. It felt like after that start, the Bucks just could not get in rhythm. They couldn't buy buckets, and they couldn't get to the free throw line.
Yeah. We couldn't get it, man. Layups, shit was just not falling. And then they were going over there, setting the screen. The guy was wide open. They were getting dunks. And I'm like, we are not the same tonight.
And then Memphis came out of the second half, 8 for 8. They never looked back. I mean, the Bucks had an off night of shooting. Memphis had a great night of shooting.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, Bobby Portis, Javon Carter, and AJ Green were the only players that shot over 50% in this game. And AJ Green was 4 of 6. Javon Carter was 3 of 6. And Bobby Portis was 8 of 14. So Bobby Portis was probably our best player in that game. But only 3 guys shot over 50% on field goals in this game.
Wow.
Which is a bummer.
That's crazy.
Bobby Portis finished with 19-7. Giannis finished with 19, 6, and 5. Chris Middleton got banged up in this game, which sucks. But looking at the final field goal percentage, Memphis shot 54.9% on field goals. Milwaukee, 37.2. Like, we've talked about games where you crumple them up and throw them in the garbage. Here it is. Here's the one you crumple up, throw it in the garbage. There's no sense in, dwelling on it outside of looking at it and saying, hey, we were not good in transition defense. Memphis had 8 guys in double figures, and the Bucks lost the rebounding battle by 17.
Yeah. There's just not much to take away from this game. I mean, think about this. The Grizzlies made 12 threes, and they scored 140 points. That's insanity.
That's 104, not at the 3-point line.
They scored 86 in the paint. They outscored us by almost 50 points in the paint. They had 27 fast break points. And they got 18 points, matching us 18 points from the free throw line. So that's basically a cancel out, right? Usually somewhere where the Bucks dominate because Giannis gets in the line so much, and then the other guys that get there usually make both of them or one, right? This game is just – it can be beautiful, it can be ugly. Let's just right? And the only way I'm going to say this on this exactly what this was. I know the haters are all in full force against me, so I don't give a shit. Christmas Day is coming, so I can't wait to give the Celtics fans what they deserve.
At the end of the day, obviously you want to win every game you play, but at the end of the day, this is 1 of 82.
Yep.
So we can move on to a more fun game, and we can talk about the Bucks versus Jazz. So the Bucks are a little bit shorthanded in this game. Joe Ingles missed debuting against his former team by 1 game.
I know. That would have been
So
sick.
close. But George Hill was cooking a little bit against his former team. And actually, so was Grayson Allen. George Hill, he's finished with 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. He hit a couple threes. Brook Lopez, he got a Euro step. Like, what the hell is the biggest human I have ever seen doing a Euro step, shooting the floater? He missed it. He caught his own rebound, and he dunked it with his left hand.
I know, dude. And then he's shaking his head on the way down.
So Bobby went crazy in this game as well. He scored 10 of the Bucks' first 12 points. He had 15 points in the first quarter and 4 rebounds. And he made the only Bucks three-pointer in the first quarter. So the Bucks, this is another thing where, like you just mentioned, Memphis scoring a ton of points without making a ton of threes. Then you get to a game where the Bucks are scoring a ton and not hitting threes. So it's interesting. Isaac, that play is coming in the next game. So you got to wait one more game. And then Drew Holiday sparked a 12-0 run. Of those 12 points, this was in the second quarter, the 12 points scored during the 12-0 run, Drew Holiday scored 10 of them. After he started, I think he was 0 for 4 to start. Then he made his next 5 shots. He scored 10 points on the Bucks' 12-0 run. Mm-hmm. Getting into the second half, I need to give Sandro Mamukelashvili credit for what he did in this game. Mm-hmm. He drove and kicked twice to Wesley Matthews, and he came in and grabbed a rebound that hit the rim really short over 2 Utah Jazz players and kicked it out again to Wesley Matthews for 3. The other driving kick that he had was to Pat Connaughton, who hit a 3. All these guys are all playing better, which is really encouraging. I also got to throw out, at one point, Drew Holiday drove into Kelly Olynyk's chest, bumped him back into the paint, and scored a left-handed layup on him.
Is that the one that was kind of like, it didn't really get over the rim very much? Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. When I was watching it, I was like, did that go in? That
was Drew Holiday, our point guard, against a power forward, and he had more power than the power forward.
Yeah, I think Drew's strength is a very underrated portion of his game.
Yes. This is a kind of a weird thing too, but the Bucks gave up an and one before the end of the first quarter and before the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just like, okay, can we not? Can we not? But fourth quarter, the Bucks pulled away. Utah only scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. They were 7 of 22 on field goals. They were keeping pace for a lot of the game by making a lot of threes. 0 for 12 on threes in the fourth quarter was Utah.
Yep.
So the Bucks are also now 58-4 under Budenholzer when they get 30 or more assists. Biggest difference in this game from the Memphis game to the Utah game, rebounding. Bucks got out-rebounded by 17 in the Memphis game. They out-rebounded Utah by 25. Yep. 54 rebounds by the Bucks, only 29 rebounds by the Jazz. That's insane. Only 14 second chance points, 9 points off turnovers, only 2 missed free throws, only 25 fundamental failure points. That's going to end up being one of the lowest totals that the Bucks have this season. And I will let you talk about this game, and then I want to talk about Jordan Clarkson versus Grayson Allen. So what were your thoughts on this game?
You told me to watch out for that, so I'm excited for that. I was just waiting. I was like, when's he going to pull it out?
Saving it for last.
When's he going to pull it out? So you talked about Mamu. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Mamu as well because you talked about his passing ability, which we already knew about with him coming out of Seton Hall, his ability to handle the ball a little bit. We've talked about we wanted him to get a little bit tougher on defense, which it looks like he's improved his positioning at the very least. Yeah. And he's becoming a tough rebounder. The one thing that I want Mamu to get better at is finishing with force in the paint. If he does that, he will be a legit, and I'm not talking like just a starter, he will be a legit NBA starter if he can finish with force and have that passing ability. The little finesse with the power, I think that could be something that could be sick.
I don't like this player because I don't think he's valuable to his team, but like he's got a little bit of Nikola Vucevic in him.
Oh, okay. I can see that. It's actually not a bad comparison. Thanks for completely killing my train of thought. For some reason, I am just attracted to the points in the paint stat. Like it's like a really big thing for me. Just like rebound.
It's like the red zone of the NBA.
It's like, to me, it's like a physicality thing. And like I've always been like a big guy, so like I've never shied away from like people like hitting me. Like I actually kind of like it. Like when I played basketball at the Y at Sheboygan, people were hitting me like, okay, we getting into it now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that. So like I'm really passionate about points in the paint. So when I saw we give up 80 points in the paint to the Grizzlies, I was pissed off, man. I was pissed. And then to see it go to 38, and they did very well against the Pelicans too. A little foreshadow. Getting it down to 38 in the next game, I know that's something that was a point of emphasis, and I loved every moment of that. Brooke had a much better game in this game compared to the Grizzlies game. Grizzlies, he had 4 points, 3 assists. In this game against the Jazz, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist. He also had 3 blocks in this game. And
he blocked Lauri Markkanen trying to dunk the ball twice.
Markkanen, and we're not trying to throw shade at him. That guy deserves to be an all-star.
I really like him, actually. Even back to his Bulls days and his Cavaliers days, when they put him on Chris Middleton, it made things hard for Middleton.
It did. He just tied like an NBA record, I think it was last night, for most threes by a 7-footer with 9. So I was like, oh, he's hooping out there.
Brooke has hit 8 twice.
I know. I just one more, Brooke. Just tie the NBA record,
Hit 10 in a game, and we'll call 10, you. We'll call you Brooke Curry.
Yeah, fuck it. Just go.
Like,
go
I already
get the
call
record
you Dirk
yourself.
Lopez sometimes. Like we can call you Steph Lopez. I'm totally down for that.
Steph Lopez sounds better than Brooke Curry.
It does.
And Marjan in the Grizzlies game had 12 points. Oh, geez, I'm going crazy here. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Against the Jazz, he had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. He ended plus 17 in that game. So
in only 19 minutes.
Yeah, Marjan played very, very good against the Jazz. You could tell that he's already getting acclimated to the NBA speed, and his athleticism is going to be a very big thing for him. So very happy to both players who put in 8 apiece, so 36 points, also players who are cornerstone players. So, I mean, on offense at least.
Right.
Brooke is definitely a cornerstone on defense. But.
Right. He's just the stone. He's the Easter Island head stone.
He's the best. No.
I want to also throw a Bobby Portis. He finished with 22 points and 14 rebounds. He's up to 17 double-doubles now. And I just want to touch on Marjan real quick. The thing that I think is standing out for me that's been different since his first stint where he was starting to get some regular playing time before he got sick, I do also want to give him credit. He's playing like right after breaking his nose. Like he broke his nose in practice last week, and then he's still playing. Like just a couple days later.
What a monster.
So his first stint when he was having the good games against like the Hawks and the Thunder and some of those early going games in November, that's where the athleticism stood out. We saw a lot of the athleticism. He was hitting some threes here and there, but he's back, and he's back in the rotation, and he's shooting with confidence.
Yeah.
Like Budenholzer got, like we are 2 months into the season, and Budenholzer's got the let it fly instilled in him now.
That's fair. 4 for 7 from 3.
4 for 7, exactly. And he's not just shooting wide open corner threes. Like he's coming off screens, taking a step towards the basket, a step back from the basket behind the 3-point line, and shooting threes like that.
Nuts.
He's not just doing catch and shoot threes. He's shooting with confidence. Fucking love to see it.
I'm with it.
Now, you ready for Grayson versus Clarkson?
I am.
I proposed this idea probably about a month ago, that the Bucks could use Grayson Allen the way Utah uses Jordan Clarkson.
Mm-hmm.
They both scored 13 points in this game. Jordan Clarkson was 5 for 10 from the field, 3 for 7 from the three-point line. Grayson Allen was 6 of 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from the three-point line.
Mm-hmm.
Rebounds. Grayson Allen 4, Jordan Clarkson 1. Assists. Grayson Allen 4, Jordan Clarkson 3. They each had a steal. And then turnovers, Grayson Allen 1, Jordan Clarkson 3. Tell me the Bucks can't use Grayson Allen like they'd use Jordan Clarkson if he was on the Bucks.
I'll say the one difference is that Jordan Clarkson, he's not playing with Giannis right now. So we know what his impact would be with Giannis.
Right.
Also, Jordan Clarkson can be a guy that can just get on fire and give you 30. I feel much more comfortable with Jordan Clarkson giving you 30 than Grayson Allen. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a bad comparison. And in terms of contract and usage rate, obviously, but Grayson Allen does a great job of fitting in and playing his role. So you've heard me say 100 times, I'm okay with us not making a move. And you saw all the people coming out after the Grizzlies game like they always do. They hide when we win.
Mm-hmm.
But when we lose, they come out and they're like, we need to make a trade for a perimeter defender. It's like, guys, you're telling me, so we win, loss, and then you go over here and we got to win and we got a loss and we got to win. And so you're telling me in the playoffs, if we win 8 games to every 2 losses, you're going to be upset that we didn't trade for a wing defender? No, shut up.
Yeah, because it'll be Bucks in 5 instead of Bucks in 6.
Yeah, just shut up, Just
how I feel about it. It's one of 82, and we didn't have Drew Holiday.
Exactly. I can't stand the internet sometimes, man.
That's why we got to get rid of the knee-jerk reactions and the small sample sizes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go to the Bucks and the Pelicans game. Hey, Isaac, were you excited about that dunk that Giannis finished from Marjan's alley-oop?
Yes.
That was awesome. So Zion is bringing the ball up the floor. And Drew Holiday picks him up a step past half court and steals the ball from him, dives on the floor, tosses it to Marjan Beauchamp, who takes 2 dribbles, kind of runs out of space and isn't sure what to do with the ball, puts it up for Giannis, who catches it and throws it down in less than 0.2 seconds, and it turns into an awesome play.
All from the Drew Holiday defense. Oh, which makes a difference.
Who knew?
They're complaining about getting a wing defender like we didn't have our best wing defender. What the fuck? 2 plus 2 always equals 4. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you sure?
100% sure.
All right. Give me your thoughts on the Bucks and Pelicans game from Monday night.
I was really excited for this game in New Orleans. A very season battle against the Pelicans team that's been surprising. I'm actually looking to try to go to this game in Milwaukee because I think seeing Zion versus Giannis is much-watch TV. It's going to be must-watch over the next 5 years, in my opinion, as both of them are going to be in their prime. And both are probably the most unstoppable people in the paint. So those two matching up, especially with the way that they're shaped, where Giannis is more stretched out and Zion is more low to the ground and just looks like the left-handed version of Charles Barkley, in my opinion. Just strong, gets there, doesn't matter. He's going to score. I saw a Bucks team that shot 56%, 45-81. That is incredible. 26 assists, did have 18 turnovers, but the rebounding was even, so that's a wash. They played great defense in the paint, only allowing 42 points and scoring 54 of their own. Killed them in the fast break points, plus 10 there, and had 25 points from the free throw line. You get 25 points from the free throw line and 54 points in the paint, you're going to win a lot of goddamn games. Point blank period, 2 plus 2 always equals 4. Brooke Lopez with a 30 bomb, dude. When I see that, I'm just
I got something
what?
on Brook Lopez for you.
That
Oh,
is
yes.
insane. This is just a good game, and I'm gonna say it's not gonna happen, but a Bucks versus Pelicans finals will be fun. I'll say that.
I'd be down for that. To me, the Pelicans are the Cavaliers of the Western Conference.
Oh, we play them tonight.
That's easy perspective, I think. If I saw one more person saying, "Oh, we're terrible for letting Jonas Valanciunas beat us," there's something to be said for taking your opponent's best player out of the game and making their third, fourth, and fifth best players try to beat you. It's called strategy. Bill Belichick does it all the time. He takes away your best player.
I was just gonna say, Belichick's been pretty good at that. He made a pretty good career of that.
It's almost like there's more to the game than just staring at the box score and seeing who's scoring. Now, I understand that it's like, okay, Valanciunas is making 80% of his shots. Maybe we should change it up a little bit because their guy that you're trying to force beat you is at least keeping pace with you. And exactly, my dad said if they don't lose, who cares how they did? You can't tell me that it's not a factor that Zion only scored 17 points and that he did not look comfortable for 1 second of this game.
Yeah.
Even when Wesley Matthews fouled him a couple times, he still looked pissed.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to the free throw line and he still looked unhappy, out of rhythm. He never got into a rhythm, even when he scored a little bit in the second half. So the Bucks were focused on stopping Zion. They were using Drew Holiday and Wesley Matthews as the primary defenders on Zion Williamson. Drew Holiday, primary defender on Zion Williamson.
That guy guards fucking everybody, man. He guards everybody. He guards the fucking bus driver too, man. He guards everyone.
Dude just guards KD and Curry and Zion
and Tatum and
oh my god,
guards everyone.
He guards everybody. And I got to give credit because Eric Name is the one who wrote this up, and he really broke it down. Was how, in addition to the Bucks using Drew and Wesley Matthews on Zion Williamson, they were also keeping Brook Lopez ready and waiting for Zion to try to drive past or through those guys. Mm-hmm. And obviously it made things harder for Zion, but it made things easier for Jonas Valanciunas. It gave him a lot of space. Mm-hmm. So he made some threes that were wide open, and then he made a couple jump shots with Bobby Portis right in his face. That's where I say good offense beats good defense every single time. If a guy's hitting jump shots, it doesn't matter if you have a finger up his nose. If he's making his shots, you tip your cap and he made the shot. All right, keep playing good defense.
Yeah, you talking about fingers up noses. Did you see that shot from the Vikings game against the Colts?
That's not a nose, though.
I know. They stick fingers up butts, little weirdos over there.
Yeah, that was weird. I do also want to give the Pelicans announcers some credit because they were giving Javon Carter credit. They were giving him credit on offense and defense. And then we got the Joe Ingles debut. We got our Christmas present from the Bucks. We got Joe Ingles unwrapped. He didn't score, but we got to see a Joe Ingles and Giannis pick and roll result in a layup for Giannis, so that was cool. Get a glimpse of that. Giannis was hitting everything, literally everything. He was kidding, like dribble up, walk into threes, and cashing them. He went on an 8-0 run to start the second quarter for the Bucks. So we get into, oh my God, this is annoying. Jonas Valanciunas had 28 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Now, you and I know this, that Budenholzer makes adjustments at halftime. The Bucks have had some very, very, very good third quarters. Just ask the Cavaliers. Jonas Valanciunas only had 9 points in the second half.
Yep.
So there's still people that are like, Budenholzer needs to be fired. When Marjan wasn't playing after losing 6 pounds from being sick for 2 weeks, and now because Jonas Valanciunas went off in the first half.
No.
Okay. So, Marjan Beauchamp still shooting with confidence in this game, which is very encouraging to see. Brook Lopez, crazy efficient, and Giannis just going at literally everybody in transition. He does not care. You could put 6 guys on the floor, and Giannis will still go at you in transition.
He's a dog, dude.
Giannis gives no fucks in transition.
0. He gives 0. Exactly.
He would probably borrow you a fuck to give because he doesn't give a fuck.
He's just a freaking bulldozer, dude.
He doesn't even have to bulldoze, dude. He just goes around people.
I know. He's incredible, really.
The way that he splits, like the Pelicans had it at least twice where they had 3 players or more back at the free throw line, spread out, ready for Giannis to come at them, and he still splits defenders.
It's insane how fast he can make those decisions and see that stuff.
And change his direction is part of it too, I think. How quickly he can change direction. So I had to bring that up. Pelicans, they started moving the ball a little bit quicker in the second half. They were getting faster in transition. They were moving the ball quicker, and then they were just making quicker decisions. Just like as soon as they catch, like either the ball was being passed or they were making their move towards the basket. They weren't like catching and facing up and sizing up the defense. They were just moving the ball a lot, and that's what helped get them back into the game. The lead got cut to 3 with a minute and a half to go, and then Drew Holiday hit a big 3. And then late in the game, Wesley Matthews and Drew Holiday were guarding Zion Williamson and CJ McCollum, and they were trying to run a pick and roll with the two or a pick and pop. And it was Wesley Matthews on McCollum and Drew on Zion, and they ran it and they just switched. To have that ability to be able to switch those actions is a serious advantage. So again, this is just another one of those things where people are like, why do we have Wesley Matthews on the team? This is exactly why we have Wesley Matthews on the team. Not to mention, I'll get into some stuff in a second here, but that is the exact kind of reason why we have Wesley Matthews on this team. Now, with this, with Ingles back, George Hill, Jordan Nwora, Serge Ibaka didn't play. As far as the depth chart goes, I've seen a lot of people asking who's going to play less with Joe Ingles healthy. Honestly, I think it's going to be a game-by-game situation. It's going to be dependent on the matchup. So if we play a team, say the Warriors, for example, that could be a game where some of the big guys don't play. Or say you get into a game like the Orlando Magic, like that could be another game where some of the smaller guys don't play because the Magic have a lot of size. So I think it's really going to end up being matchup dependent. But this game, Brook and Giannis were both 12 of 17 from the field. Giannis was 17 of 22 from the free throw line. He finished with 42 points and 10 rebounds. Now, Brook Lopez, who was also 4 of 9 on threes, finished with 30 points and 8 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive. This was Brook's first 30-point game since the Game 5 Atlanta Hawks game in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Holy shit. Long time ago. Good memories.
I went back and looked, and I was like, I'm so happy for Brook to get a 30 bomb. And it was the last time he had one was absolutely when it was needed. And obviously he missed a lot of time last year, so he didn't have a lot of opportunities. He played like 10 games in the regular season last year. But Brook's first 30-point game since Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hawks.
Wow.
All right. Drew Holiday, 18 points and 11 assists against his former team. Pat Connaughton, 11 points. And now we get into this is one of those things. Like the Bucks won this game. It got a little closer than it probably should have at the end. But only 6 missed free throws, which is huge. 22 points off turnovers and 19 second chance points. That's 47 fundamental failure points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But the Bucks still won thanks to some efficiency and some smart defense. So that is good. I want to bring up really quick a and we can kind of just tie this into our recap here at the end. Joe Ingles was asked about Milwaukee, and he brought up how perfect of a fit that it was for him, and how his family's happy, his wife is happy, his kids are happy here. He brought up, and I just want to take a second to appreciate that this is our reality. He brought up that Milwaukee is a championship culture. Everybody here
so much
cares about winning a championship. He said, guys don't care about who's scoring. Guys don't care about making the playoffs or going on a run in the playoffs. He said it's championship or bust, and that's it. 10 years ago, there's not a single person who would have believed that the Bucks have a championship culture.
And a title.
And a title, obviously. Yes, the championship culture helps when you have an actual championship.
I mean, you can still have a good mindset, I guess I'm trying to say, without the title.
I mean, you can have a competitive mindset, but
right.
Being competitive and having a championship are two different things.
But it's kind of bring me back when we were kids. He talked about Dwayne Wade, right? And when LeBron went there, and Dwayne Wade had been through the grind, so he understood what it meant, to go do that. And it helped him when he was at Marquette, and he dragged that team to the Final Four. So having multiple players, the entire team, the coaching staff, all those people understand what it takes to get to that point, it makes it definitely more attractive to bring in guys like Joe Ingles who can become big time factors. And I've talked about it for weeks, dude, but the flexibility of this goddamn roster is just stupid off the board. Stupid off the board. We play so many lineups, man. So many lineups.
It's the point where people are complaining why the 11th guy on the depth chart isn't playing enough.
Think about that, bro. Mamu could get legit minutes on a Hornets team, and he could be good. He could get legit minutes on a Hornets team and have good numbers.
He could back up Sabonis in Sacramento and play probably 20 minutes a night
easily. And he could. That might be a guy I compare him to be honest with you. That's a pretty good comparison.
He's got to get pretty much better at passing still, even though he's good at it.
Right. That's like the ultimate version of him, left-handed and everything. But
not good on defense.
Yeah. Bad on defense. Yeah. But we won't go there again. Bill roasted him good enough last week.
He really did.
But that's crazy that people are bitching about the second to last person on the bench not playing. What? That's what we're picking to talk about.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
And I'll say this because Chris might not make it. My vision of 3 All-Stars is still alive with Giannis, Drew, and Brooke. My vision of 3 All-Stars is still alive. And you know what? You could probably make a legit argument for Bobby. You really could. With all the double-doubles and big-time shots. You can make a legit argument for Bobby. He won't make it, but you can make one for
him. Bill's laughing. We were still laughing, too.
I didn't forget, Bill. People don't forget.
Not when it's funny. All right. What stood out to you over the last week from these 3 games?
I just love everything about this team. Their ability to just, kind of get punked against the Grizzlies. Let's just call it what it is. We kind of got punked. The players are joining in on the wave. I'm not going to forget that either. I'm kind of I don't know if you saw that, but I'm pretty
to begin with.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I didn't even join in the wave on Monday at the game. I was like, nah.
Neither did I.
I don't do the wave, okay? I'm not 7. But then I was going to wait, but they always do it on offense, bro. Why? Do it on defense, you fucking morons. Have another Miller Lite, you douchebags. But anyways, I love this team's ability to just bounce back, go from giving up 142 points to under 100. I mean, the mindset and the mental toughness to just be like, all right, that's enough of that shit. Yeah. We ain't getting punked no more. We about to show people that we're number 1, which they are, number 1 record in the NBA. So for all those people that were talking, I'm going to vote for Jason Tatum because he's the best player on the best team. Guess what? All those voters have to be Giannis voters now. And I saw a sick stat today that I'm going to bring up. This is the perfect moment as I'm just rambling on. Where is it? Right here. So it shows games with 30-plus points. And it shows Luka with 21, Shea with 20, Curry 16, Giannis 16, KD 16. That's the top three, right? And you get Mitchell, Tatum, and Embiid. Then you go games played with 36-plus minutes. This is where it gets stupid.
Luka has less than 5, guaranteed.
Luka has 21 games with 30 minutes, right? He has 19 games playing 36 minutes. Shea has 20 games with 30 points, 14 games. Curry, 16 games, 12 games over 36 minutes. So I'm going to skip Giannis real quick. KD has 16 points with 30-plus points. 22 of those games, he played 36 minutes. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 16 games, tied with Curry and KD, and only 4 behind Shea and 5 behind Luka. 5 games playing 36 minutes.
Nailed it.
5. Bro, that's 1/4 of the amount of Luka. But people want to tell me that Luka's better than Giannis.
And he don't play no defense.
Get out of here with that. Bro, I don't even want to touch defense. I'm going to talk just offense. It took him 14 more games to get 5 more games of 30-plus points. Give Giannis 36 minutes every night. He's averaging 40.
Dude, easily.
40.
If Giannis played 36 minutes a night, he'd probably be averaging like 40 and 15.
Think about that, bro.
Probably like 7 assists.
And then he's giving you a couple blocks, couple steals. He's pissing off the fans because he takes a long time at the free throw line, and he's dunking on your whole city. There's no argument, man. It's over, bro. It's not close. I don't want to hear no Luka. I don't want to hear no Tatum. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And they're all talking about, oh, they're the next wave. Giannis is 20 fucking.
He's 28. He's the now wave and the next wave.
10 more years of this guy abusing your team.
He's got easily 5 more years of prime left.
Oh yeah, and then after that, even when he's out of his prime, I think he's still going to be a monster because he's big and strong yet. You can still find ways that he has. You can still find ways to make him useful. Who says in the next 5 years he doesn't just get a deadly mid-range game? I'm not counting anything out with Giannis, but when I saw that stat today, I was like, I don't want to hear nobody talk about Luka. I don't want to hear nobody talk about Luka. I'm
not
sick
to
and
mention
tired
that Dallas is hovering around 500.
Bro, and then the other day, who the hell was it against? Where it might have been like 4 days ago at this point, but he had like a big dunk. And I just went back to when we played him, and they showed that like 100 times, but they still lost. And I'm just like, are they amazed that he dunks, dude? Do they not know that he's 6'7"? Like, come on. He should be able to dunk in the NBA at 6'7". It's just annoying.
All right. Anything else you wanted to throw out there about the last week of the Bucks?
No, I just can't wait till they win the goddamn title so we can shut everybody up.
All right. So I want to throw out some things with some role players real quick. George Hill over his last 3 games, just over 6 points, just over 4 rebounds, just over 3 assists, actually almost 4 assists a game, only 2 turnovers a game, shooting 50% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, and 100% at the free throw line. You've said it, and I agree. He's been arguably one of the most consistent players on the team this year.
Yep.
He's not giving you big numbers, but he's giving you consistency.
Absolutely. You know what you're getting from him every night.
Exactly. Grayson Allen, his last 4 games, he's 17 for 28 from the floor. That's 61%.
Damn.
3 for 9 on threes, that's 33%. He's also averaging just shy of 4 rebounds, just over 2 assists, and has only turned the ball over 3 times total in the last 4 games.
I like it.
Javon Carter, his last 5 games, he's 11 of 26 from the field, which is only 42%, which isn't great, but 7 for 16 behind the three-point line, that's 44%.
That is very good.
And then 3 steals twice in that same stretch, and averaging over 3 rebounds, and only 4 turnovers total in those last 5 games. As your backup point guard, only 4 turnovers total in 5 games.
Yeah.
Bruh, give me that all day.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Wesley Matthews, his last 4 games, he is 4 of 6 on threes. Wesley Matthews is heating up from the 3-point line a little bit. And then lastly, Pat Connaughton, his last 4 games, he's 10 of 22 from the field. That's 45.4%. 6 of 16 from 3. That's just shy of 38% on threes. Averaging just shy of 4 rebounds. Playing good defense. Actually making some really nice passes as well. So I wanted to give Pat Connaughton some credit for that. Yep, Tim, it's almost game time. And actually, we're almost done because the last thing I need from Jake is a record prediction at Cleveland tonight, at Brooklyn Friday, at Boston Sunday. Give me your prediction for those 3 games.
We're wearing the Blues tonight, so we're winning against the Cavs. We're beating the Nets. And we are going to go into Boston with a vengeful attitude. And we are going 3-0 this week.
Air 5.
Yeah.
I also have 3-0.
I want that Boston game so fucking bad, dude. So bad I want that. Dude, Christmas Day could be fucking legit, man.
Dude.
Oh.
So, personally, I don't think Cleveland or Brooklyn can beat the Bucks healthy.
Yeah.
So, like, the Bucks aren't going to have Middleton tonight, but they didn't the first 2 times they played Cleveland and destroyed them in the third quarters of those games.
Yep.
They didn't have Brooklyn the first time they played them. They didn't have Middleton. And we'll have Ingles. And then I think when it comes to Sunday, like, Chris Middleton was upgraded from out to doubtful for today's game, so he's probably not playing today. But having the doubtful tag makes me optimistic that he might have a probable tag for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if he doesn't play Friday, that means that, in my opinion, he will be back for sure on Sunday. And we all know that Chris Middleton is a noted Celtics killer. So getting Chris Middleton back for that game and actually being fully 100% healthy and hungry against Boston on Sunday for the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year, I think the Bucks are going to be hungry for that win. And I think the Bucks are going to go 3-0 over the next week as well.
Let's go, baby. I'm so ready for it. To Bill's question real quick before we sign off. We get a Bucks win. We get a Packers win. My daughter's now old enough this year for Christmas where she's actually I'm going to be able to see the joy in her face when she opens her presents. Like, this is a straight up human. I'm really, really going to enjoy that part of it. So let's get some wins. Let's enjoy Christmas. We do have an episode on Friday before we do that.
Yes,
but
we do. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. This could potentially be a great week. And Bill, you're going to want to tune in on Friday. I have a great stat about playoff scenarios for the Packers.
All right. Anything else you want to throw out there?
No, sir. Go Bucks.
All right.
Also, thank you, Cole.
Yes, I wanted to end with that as well. Thank you again for Cole LaCrue for joining us. He was awesome. And thanks everybody for watching the whole thing and commenting along. We appreciate that as well. Bill, you're the MVP. You're rising on the list of top fans. You and Taylor are going to have a duel
because he comments a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Bill's moving up there from number 1 fan. He's definitely top 3 right now.
Tim and Taylor have been around for a long time, but Bill in 2022 has really come along and started watching the show a lot and commenting along a lot, which we appreciate.
I appreciate you, Bill. Have a great night, buddy.
All right. See you on Friday.
Later, bro.